Hello out there, casual fanatics. Jeremy here, and welcome to episode 8 of Casual Mode's playthrough of Selenon Rising. In the last episode, took us a couple of tries, but we got a dude named JJ arrested because he was stealing some tech for the Mafia. Or at least we think it's the Mafia. And all of you found out that while I've played a Phoenix Wright type game before this, I am by no means good at them. In this episode, we continue our investigation by trying to locate that transmitter that we were sent to find. So, let's hop back into it. It's a lot larger than it looks on the outside, and it's filled with all kinds of paraphernalia. But there's one thing that sticks out like a sore thumb: a busted up metal rod lying haphazardly in the middle. I walk over to the pole and quickly recognize it as the missing lamppost from the parking lot. There you are. I walk towards where the light of the lamppost be, and notice a slightly rustling round piece holding it together. Gripping it with all my might, I turn it with a loud screech. To my surprise, the whole top portion slides off, glass and all, revealing an unusual cylindrical device wedged into the pole. It's gunmetal gray, with a smooth exterior, and almost looks like a giant pill. There we go, finally! I disconnect the thick umbilical from beneath it and heave it into my arms, noticing that it's much heavier than it looks. I walk jauntily towards the exit, hoping not to run into anyone on my way out. I make my way through the maze of junk and back to the fence. I put the beacon down and open the trunk of my car. On one side of my trunk, I notice a blinking red light. Never seen that before. Must be the tracker that Blue activated to find me. I lift the beacon into the car and slam the trunk shut. I should go meet Blue before he gets worried. Maybe I should tell him about the beacon. No, not yet. Actually, I should go and see Sam before I meet Blue. I don't want him to become suspicious. There's still a possibility that I can use him as an inroad to find out what Zarla and her crew are up to. I get into my car and pull away from JJ's. Bolt's auto looks abandoned when I pull up. The two large garage doors, which were open this morning, are closed, and it's dark inside the shop. I check the time on my dash. It's only late afternoon, and any normal business definitely would still be open. Get out of my car and head towards the small side door which leads to the office. I twist the door handle and it opens easily. Hello? Sam, are you there? I walk out onto the darkened garage floor. There's still no sign of Sam, or anyone else for that matter. The car he was working on earlier is gone, and two more sit in its place, one up on the lift and the other with his hood on. I head toward the back of the shop. Still nothing. Sighing, I walk back towards the office. Where did he go? Why did he leave before he came back? Maybe he heard more of the conversation with JJ than I thought and made a break for it. Crap. Here's my best chance of figuring this all out. I walk out of the office and back towards my car, but before I can get all the way there, I stop dead. The trunk of my car is open, and even from here I can see that the tech is gone. What on earth? I run to the car and poke around in the truck to be sure, even though I just know that someone took it. I look around again. How did it get into my trunk? And who? How did they even know that the beacon was there? I walk around the left side of the garage where I assume there's just a solid wall. Surprisingly, there's a small side door positioned near the back of the garage. I walk towards it. Just as I'm about to reach for the door handle, the door pops open. I jump back in surprise. Sam pokes his head out. What the? In here. I recover from my surprise and duck into the side door behind Sam. You scared the hell out of me. Someone took the beacon from my car. Oh, that was me. Just wanted to hook it up. I was looking for you. Why didn't you just wait? Does it matter? Oops, nearly made me have a heart attack. We re-enter the main area of the garage. Sam stops near what looks to be an electric breaker box. You did what I sent you to do. Well done. Zarla's team could definitely use someone like you. Are you sure? From what you pulled back there, it doesn't seem like you exactly trust me. Well, there are still a lot of unknowns. Even when you are a mechanic, there's still a risk of you being loyal to a different repair shop. There's a lot of competition. We don't all see eye to eye about certain things, so I didn't want to take any chances. As I said, I've never been involved with the Resistance before, but when I heard about Zala, well, I had to see what all the fuss was about. Everything you're saying does check out. I ran a trace and it matches your story. Does that mean I'm in? I guess it does. Welcome aboard. Sam pulls open the metal door of the breaker. He flicks some switches, and I hear a loud buzzing noise. I installed the beacon on the roof. Better brace yourself. This thing pulls out an unstable magnetic field when it's winding up. Exactly how powerful is this thing? Powerful enough to track a Selenon. In other words, you better make sure your bowels are clenched. He presses a large button and the building shakes. I suddenly hear an ominous series of pops from my mask. What a rush, huh? This is ancient tech at its finest. That's all very exciting, but you know what? I think I have to be going. Break out into a cold sweat under my mask as the voice begins to sound like a telescreen with no reception. Did you say something? No, I just think I should probably be going. Well, I need to contact Sarla and organize a rendezvous. I really have to grip my face in desperation, but my vision is getting worse and worse by the second. I can hardly see where the exit is. Are you sure you're okay? You don't need a cough drop? No, it's no problem. The EMP shorted out the mask. That was awkward. To my horror, the mask detaches into the ground with a wince-inducing crack and sound of electrical sparks. I cover my face and intend to pick it up, but it's too late. Sam has gotten a glimpse of the real me. Don't look! I guess this is kind of awkward. Sam crawls backwards, embarrassedly, adjusting his glasses, which have half fallen off of his face as well. You're Violet, aren't you? Who's asking? So, Starlight was right. There is a Violet. The way he regards me, you'd think he'd just found Santa Claus. What are you playing at, kid? Gets up, reaching for a panel. I quickly go for my gun, but just as I begin to aim it, he presses a button and it flies out of my hands, landing on a large piece of metal sitting halfway across the garage. Whoa, let's not do anything rash here. I mean you no harm. For some reason, I highly doubt that. Look, before you try to arrest me, there's something you really need to see. Sam pushes another button on the same control panel, and a panel the size of the door opens in the garage floor, leading down to some sort of basement. I'm conflicted with what option I should go with here. On the one hand, I really don't want to lie. I definitely don't want to be abrasive, so I'm definitely not going with number 3. One to 3, 4 to 6, 5. I'm not one for mysterious staircases. What's down there? Something that you need to see. I don't trust that this isn't a trap. If you're going to try and kill me, I'd prefer we get this over with. I don't intend on killing you unless we give me no other choice. I think we could be useful to one another, in fact. Useful how? The information I've managed to gather using the beacon you brought back has answered some questions for me, and I think they will for you as well. Well, I have to show you. It's down there. He indicates the passageway to the basement. I still don't trust him, but I can sense that he's telling the truth, at least for now. Fine, But they're expecting me back at the bureau, so don't get any funny ideas. I wouldn't dare. I walk in front of Sam, down the steep steps to the passageway, which leads to a dingy hallway. He grabs a flashlight hanging on the wall and flicks it on, illuminating a pitch-black tunnel. Large wires snake through on either side, though where they lead is anyone's guess. Where are we going? Just keep going straight. It's not much further. As soon as he finishes this sentence, the hallway opens up in a large room. It matches the dinginess of the hallway, but light pours from the far wall. A squint, shielding my eyes from the sudden shift in light. What is that? Are we outside? No, of course not. Slowly, I lower my hand, taking a closer look at the wall as my eyes begin to adjust. I've never seen anything like it before. There are a number of screens connected to several rusty boxes on either side, with lights gently blinking on and off. I recognize the construction as a computer bank, but only from pictures. I've never seen one in real life. Computers are the highest level of tech, and are kept under lock and key at the Bureau. How Sam got his hands behind this setup is beyond me. I can't find any words to express my shock. I'm awestruck. The tech is pretty rusty, but it gets the job done. It's true. The computers are busted up, gray and grimy after hundreds of years underground, but merely the fact that they exist in this random basement is stunning. As I start to get past some of my initial shock, I take a closer look and am surprised all over again to see that on each screen, a moving scene from the city is playing out. Are those cameras? Yeah, you can see what's happening in the dome using a combination of the beacons and the old cameras used to be part of the ancient security system. I'm surprised that he's telling me this much about their operation. Makes me trust him a little bit more, but that just doubles my suspicion. You're telling me some pretty sensitive information. I want you to trust me, so that when I show you what I've discovered, you'll take me at my word. And what exactly would that be? Once I was able to reactivate the missing beacon, I triangulated the signal that I've been searching for. Which was? Sandman. Well, I mean, I realize he'd be hard to find. I mean, after all, he's just the beast under your bed, in your closet, in your head. I thought Sandman was one of Zarla's people. He was, but his views were too extreme. Zarla kicked him out a couple of months back. Said he should go proselytize on his own time. That's a long word. That's not a word I get to use very often, proselytize. What was he trying to get her to do? Sandman, or should I say Dr. Alexei, became convinced that he could destroy the Selenon. What? Is that even possible? What does that mean? If you give me a minute to finish, I'll explain. Well, of course. Sorry, you just surprised me. Sandman thought that if he could hack into the ancient missile silos under the city, he would be able to assassinate their leader, the Dark One. The Dark One? I've never heard of such a thing. To be honest, I doubt most of the Bureau knows much about him, but there is evidence he does exist, and Sandman believes that he commands the Selenon. What good would that do? Even if he managed to take out their leaders, there would surely be a second in command. See, that's part of his theory. The Selenon all share a group consciousness with their leader, giving up most of their free will. I think it was called absolute something or other. The point is that if their leader dies without giving up control, they become vulnerable to suggestion. Someone could even order them to kill themselves and they do it, no questions asked. That would very well be the case, but if he's wrong. That's what Zarla thought too. The plan isn't worth the risk. If it failed, the Bureau would have the perfect excuse to come down on us harder than ever before, probably wiping us out for our own good. Not to mention how the Selenon would react. They'd attack the city again. A lot of people would die, both inside and outside the zone, I like this Zarla. She's a reasonable sort. That still doesn't hesitate to put a knife to your throat. So all the things that have been going on, the burglaries, the tech being collected, they're all connected to Sandman and this plan? I would bet my life on it. I've been trying to figure out how far along he is in his plan, but with the beacon disabled and the crackdowns on tech movement, I've been having a hard time pinpointing his activity. Until today it is. You think he's going to go through with it? I know he is. Or at least he's going to try. The murder you were investigating. Al Grange. Of course. He was a mathematician. Exactly. Between his math skills, his knowledge of physics, and his dirty little habit of collecting tech on the side, he was one of the few people in the city who would be able to figure out the trajectory needed to fire a missile from beneath the earth and maybe hit something. I know he was struggling financially, and I have no doubt that the Sandman paid him to work out the equation, probably telling him it was a theoretical problem. So you think Sandman killed him afterwards to cover his tracks? I don't know about that. Sandman had already gotten away without raising any alarms at that point. Seems weird to me that he would go back and kill Grange after that. But looking beyond that, we need to find a way to stop him before he can carry out his plan. We? Yes. Even though I'm part of the Resistance, we happen to have a common goal in this instance. Neither of us can afford to let this attack happen. Zarla can't sneak into the dome in time. Not after what happened earlier. The guards are on high alert. If you can't do it, no one will. I suppose you're right. But you can't tell them your cover was blown. I don't exactly like the idea of keeping things from the Bureau. If you walk away from this, if you report me, a lot of people will die. Do you want that guilt on your conscience? No. If I told the chief about all these computers, I'd probably receive a commendation. For the first time, I find myself wanting to preserve this technology. I can only hope that this choice will be the right one. Chapter 3. Blast Radius. After removing my mask, I pull up at our agreed-upon rendezvous point in an alley in Midtown. Blue is there, leaning against a brick wall and staring up at what little sky is visible from the crack between the buildings. I walk towards him. He shakes his head as he turns to look. It's about time you got here. Where have you been? I realized that I should go back and see if I should maintain my cover with Sam at Bolts. That's insane, Vi. You were supposed to abort the mission. I was so close. I had to see if it worked. Well, did it? Yeah, it did. Blue looks a little skeptical. That was a really risky move, Vi. What if you'd heard JJ call you out? You don't know whether that mic really has an off switch. Well, it was worth the risk. I got quite a bit of info from him when I went back. Oh yeah? And how'd you do that? What can I say? I am extremely charming. Blue laughs and shakes his head. Alright, what'd you get? I thought we were going to have a drink. Fair enough. Come on, let's go to Fletcher's. It's right up the street. Sounds like a plan. We make our way down the darkening street. Blue's hand brushes against mine. I glance sideways at him and he's looking straight ahead. I catch the glimpse of the crooked smile that's on his face. I shake my head and look forward. We make our way into Fletcher's and sit down at the bar. We both order a drink, and I take them to a quieter table at the corner of the bar. Suddenly realize I won't be able to drink anything with my match still on. But it seems to detect this, and I feel a hatch slide open in my mouth. It's good to know it's still functioning after the debacle earlier. I just hope it'll last long enough for me to change out of the outfit. Alright, spill. There's a lot. Well, we better get started then. How about a day later? I choke cough on my drink. What? I have coughed the question at him and he looks extremely amused. I'm totally kidding, Rhonda. My only hot date later is you. I feel vaguely uncomfortable, very confused, but I shake it off and plow on. Apparently, the chain of robberies wasn't orchestrated by JJ, but rather our old friend Sandman, just like we suspected in the first place. Blue makes a grunt of surprise, but doesn't say anything, so I press on. You were right to think he was shut out of Zala's cell. Apparently, he was tossed out a couple months ago because of some crazy plan to take down the Selenon. Take down the Selenon? What's that supposed to mean? That's what I said. He's planning on tapping into the ancient missile silos underneath the city to try and launch a missile at the Dark One. Whoa. Who is this Dark One you're talking about? Supposedly the ruler of the Selenon. The Sandman thinks that if he kills the Dark One, it'll make them all defenseless. Even if he's right, that plan is goddamn insane. I know. Anyway, he's been gathering the tech and the information he needs to pull off this plan for the last few months. He used Granger's knowledge of physics and math to get him to calculate the missile trajectory. And then killed him? Either he did, or someone else who was trying to get some information about him from Grange. Let's assume that it was Sandman for now. This guy isn't joking around. No, he's not. I already called it into the Bureau on my way back from Bolts. Apparently, they forgot those missiles even existed. But when they checked it out, they discovered that power and the control systems had been restored. Sandman's been a very busy bee. So, are we just sitting around waiting for it to happen then? No, we're taking steps. And so are the rebels. Really? Yeah. This is one area in which we all agree.
If you say so.
So, what did you find out? Anything else from JJ?
Not really. He shut up pretty quick when we got him to the Central. But I imagine they'll get a bit more out from him. At least now, we're pretty sure he was telling the truth about not killing Grange.
Is that so?
We both take long sips from our drinks. I look down at the cocktail napkin under my drink. It has a dark ring of moisture on it. I'm starting to break apart from the sweat coming down from my drink. I look back up and Blue is staring at me. So, what's your schedule like in the morning?
The chief called me in for a meeting first thing. I think he wants me to explain my info more thoroughly.
Can't really blame him. You did manage to get a lot out of your source.
As I said, I'm just very charming. When I need to be.
You really are.
Blue says this sincerely, and his sincerity surprises me.
You should stay at my joint tonight. It's a lot closer to headquarters, and you need to get as much sleep as you can after the day you've had.
I'm going to ask if it's appropriate. I'm not going to roll this one. I'm not sure that would be appropriate.
I promise. I'll act completely appropriately.
It's probably a bad idea.
Yeah, but wouldn't you be more comfortable with some company? Having hundreds of bullets shot at you isn't exactly what I'd call a relaxing day.
I'll be fine by myself.
Oh, I know you'd be fine, but I'd be up all night worried. Do me this favor.
I guess.
I agree, partially because I'm too tired to argue. And because I secretly think it might be nice to have some company. The flip in my stomach that's been annoyingly present for the last several days has been turned. Feels like I have a fish flopping around in there. Good. Let's hit the pavement. It's getting late. Lou leads the way to the door. Just as he's about to pull the door open, I put my hand on his arm.
Blue, you have to promise no weirdness, okay?
Blue looks at me with this half-amused, half-serious smile. It's a kind smile, though, and it makes my insides flood with warmth. Vi, I swear everything will be fine. No weirdness. I nod, and Blue pulls open the door. Night has settled in over the city, and we head out into the darkness towards Blue's apartment. Blue pulls out the keys to his apartment as we make our way upstairs. I apologize in advance. My apartment is a bit messy.
That's okay. I'm nervous for some reason. The
clasp my hands together in front of me as Blue unlocks the door and pushes it open. I look inside, and my nervousness momentarily disappears. First thing I notice is the static playing in the background. For a minute, I think my mask is breaking down again, so I touch them to try and clear away the noise. But then I notice a series of televisions lined up on the walls, all tuned to a dead channel. As Blue steps into the room, he deftly avoids piles of papers and books scattered across the floor. Jesus, Blue, you aren't kidding! The apartment is small and cluttered. The front door leads straight into a living room just big enough for the line of televisions, a couch, a coffee table, and a few cabinets along the wall. Piles of things sit around the couch, which seems to serve as Blue's main workstation when he's working from home on a case. I told you it was messy. I believe your exact words were a bit messy. This is a construction site. Bagla laughs and gestures for me to put my bag and coat down on the couch. Take a closer look at the piles surrounding the couch and see that they are stacks of papers and books haphazardly balanced atop one another. I look over at the televisions, confused. Why do you have all this junk? If you collect these, I'm starting to seriously doubt your sanity. Oh, those aren't personal effects. They're work. I sense a shift in his emotions, and I look straight at him. What kind of work? Are you a TV repairman on the side? Blue stares back at me, unwavering, before breaking his gaze in slight embarrassment. It's a personal project. I'm, trying to get in touch with the Selenon. The Blue gestures towards one of the seemingly busted TVs. They all work fine, but the signal I'm looking for isn't on any channel. I haven't had much luck yet, unfortunately. I'm taken aback. I know he's telling the truth, and yet the truth seems to stretch beyond the realms of his personality. The Blue I know is not one for conspiracy theories or meticulous work done on hunches. Blue, is there something you're not telling me? No? I might be less than perfect in a lot of things, but detecting lies isn't one of them. I know you're hiding something. Fine, but I'm warning you, it's stupid. Try me. A while back, I had a strange dream. I know. But this one felt a lot like the feeling I get when I, see something. You mean it was a prediction? Yeah, but I usually predict things a few seconds in advance, and this didn't feel close at all. It was distant. How could that be possible? Who knows? Psychics are still a giant enigma. But if I had to guess, I'd say it was an incredibly powerful force to reach me like that. I'm almost afraid to ask what you saw. It wasn't much, to be honest. More of a feeling than anything. Someone calling for help. Calling for me. But I couldn't help them. I just felt so weak. So that's why you want to talk to the Selenon? I know. It's a long shot. But maybe I could figure out exactly what that force was. Why do I feel like there's more to this than you're willing to tell me? Look, it's no big deal if I... There's some stupid idea I got in my head. Why don't you take a load off? I sit down heavily on the worn-looking couch, partially out of exhaustion, partially out of shock at this strange revelation. Blue moves into a small kitchen just off the living room. I can see him from where I sit, opening and shutting cabinets. Does he seem nervous too? I'm distracted from that thought as I realize there's another issue I need to take care of. Would you like a drink? Yeah, sure. Blue grabs 2 glasses from the kitchen cabinet, heads over to a small discolored cabinet in one corner of the living room, and pulls out a bottle of amber liquid. I grab my bag from next to me, and rummage around in it until I find the clothes I went to the bureau with earlier. I've been wanting to take this disguise off for a while now. I remove the mask, and then start to strip out of my clothing while Blue is busy in the kitchen. Oh god, I think I know where this is gonna go. Unfortunately, my plans take a nosedive when... Oh yeah, I knew that was gonna happen. What? Cripes! He nearly chokes on his drink and comes close to dropping the other glass that is intended for me when he sees me standing there. What? You're naked. Blue is turned halfway away from me, but I can also see him sneaking looks out of the corner of his eye. Don't get me wrong, I'm not complaining. I just had no idea you were so bold. No, Blue, it's just changing, not stripping. Blue's shoulders relax, and a grin spreads across his face. You know, there's a bathroom for that. Oh, shut up. I'm even more eager to put my uniform now. Blue's eyes are making me uncomfortably warm. Then where is it? Right over there. It's just for the bedroom. Okay, I'm going to change. Properly. I grab my clothes from the couch and walk quickly through the bedroom to the bathroom. Blue's bedroom is surprisingly tidy given the state of the rest of his apartment. As I start changing my clothes, I hear Blue laughing in the other room. What are you laughing at? Say it loudly so it travels through the bathroom door and out into the living room. Oh, nothing. Just you. You are adorable. I quickly finish putting my clothes on and go back out into the living room. Adorable? Whatever. Blue laughs. You have a bit of an ego on you, don't you? Yeah, I'm adorable, whatever. My face grows warmer, and I'm sure that I'm blushing. That's not what I meant. You're being ridiculous. I'm not adorable, I'm just me. Blue looks me straight in the eyes. You're right. Adorable is wrong. I meant beautiful. Beautiful? Yeah, beautiful. Oh. Can't think of anything to say, but my insides are going crazy. I feel like my head is going to explode from the rush of emotions that overwhelm me. Blue seems to see what's going on in my mind. He touches my hand lightly, but doesn't make a move to do anything else. Here, your drink. It takes me a moment to find my voice. I clear my throat. Thank you. Let's have some dinner, shall we? Yeah. Blue leads the way to the small kitchen, and I stand awkwardly in the doorway as he begins pulling ingredients out of the fridge. Do you like to cook? I usually don't have time. It can be time-consuming, but I love it. There's something very satisfying about working with your hands and using your brain in a different way. See, men? It's okay to learn how to cook. Be like Blue. Right. I'm still standing stiffly in the doorway. Blue looks over at me and then stops what he's doing. Walks over to me. Takes my hand and pulls me into the kitchen. He touches my cheek lightly. He places a knife and a cutting board on the counter in front of me. You're going to chop the onions. Blue puts an onion in front of me and goes back to what he was doing before. Take another sip of my drink and start chopping. No matter how much Julia Child you watch, kids, don't drink and chop. We work quietly at first, then start chatting about nothing, and before I know it, dinner's ready and I've been talking easily and actually enjoying myself. We sit down on the couch to start eating. After a few moments of silence, Blue leans over to the coffee table and lights a candle. That's pretty suave. I'm joking, but Blue looks at me earnestly. I'm not trying to be suave. I'm trying to be sincere. Something catches in my throat, and I momentarily feel like I can't breathe. The moment stretches, and in that instant, none of the things that would keep us apart seem to matter. As Selenon, the rebels, even the Bureau cease to exist in my mind, as Blue eyes look intently into mine. Finally, I break the eye contact. It's too much. I feel overwhelmed by everything and look down at my plate, which is still half full. Violet? Yes? Are you okay? Yes, I think so. You know that I really care about you, right? The statement startles me, and I look up at him again. You do? Yes. Nobody's ever told me that before. No, at least not that I can remember. Well then, it's about time. Blue puts his plate down on the coffee table and reaches across to take mine from my hands to do the same. My emotions go haywire as Blue laces his fingers through mine.
putting his other hand beneath my chin. He leans in and touches my lips with his, gently. Then he pulls away slightly and looks at me. Blue. Can't think of anything to say. Instead, I close the distance between us again, and this time I kiss him. Blue responds so enthusiastically that it takes my breath away. Before I know it, I'm almost in Blue's lap. As the heat grows between us, my mind is buzzing with a flood of emotions. The little control I'd managed to maintain earlier in the evening is demolished as Blue runs his fingers through my hair. It's like a dam breaking. I feel as though I'm drowning in this sensation. No, I can't. Suddenly it's too much. I stand away and pull away from Blue and stand up quickly. Are you okay, Vi? I can't get a handle on my thoughts long enough to respond to him. Instead, I run through Blue's bedroom into the bathroom and shut the door. I lean with my back against the door, trying to catch my breath and get a handle on my emotions. After a moment, Blue knocks softly on the door. Vi, open the door, please. I don't answer. Please? The tenderness in his voice makes me feel terrible for running away. I open the door, and Blue is standing there looking concerned. Hey. Hey. I can't look at him. Instead, I look down at my feet. I'm sorry, there was just too much. I gesture vaguely to my head and look up at him, hoping that he understands what I mean. Don't worry. It's okay, Vi. It's not, though. Yes, it is. Blue hugs me carefully, and I wrap my arms around him hesitantly. We'll have plenty of time to get to know each other. We have plenty of time for this. He pulls back and gestures between us. Come on, let's go to bed. It's been a long day. My eyes grow wide when he says bed, and I start to panic again. Blue laughs gently and kindly as he takes in my expression. Don't worry, Vi. I meant go to sleep. I'll sleep on the couch, and you can sleep in my bed. Oh, okay. Blue goes to his dresser and pulls out a large sweatshirt. Here, so you have something comfy to wear while you're sleeping. He hands it to me and starts to leave the room. About halfway across the room, he pauses and turns back. He comes back to me, traces my cheek for a moment, kisses me lightly, and then he is gone, closing the door behind him. I slip on the oversized sweatshirt, flop down on the bed, and try to slow my heartbeat. I lift the sleeve of Blue's sweatshirt to my nose. It smells like him. Cinnamon, mixed with something spicier that I can't quite name. A strong wave of affection for Blue sweeps over me. I'm worried I might be falling for him. Yes, girl. Yes, girl. Please fall for him. I'm shipping this so much right now. Speaking of shipping, I think it's time to ship this episode out. So, thank you for watching. This has been yet another episode of the casual mode playthrough of Selenon Rising. Until next time, I am Jeremy. Keep it casual, y'all.